and everyone else who wants to join. Black, white, brown, yellow, red, you're all welcome. And we're going to talk about this caucus process, um, what it looks like, and who you think is going to win. I mean, who you think is going to win tonight, and what will that mean? Because I'm watching, as I was coming over here tonight, I was watching, you know, in order for someone to make it through the different stages of a caucus, they have to be viable. So you have to have a threshold of 15%. 15% of whoever is in the room. There are caucuses all over the state, and in fact, there are caucuses all over the country and all over the world. People who live in Iowa who might not be in Iowa, now they're able to be in any state in the union, if there are enough of them. They're able to be out of the country. So it's interesting to watch the caucus process. But you know, we're accustomed to having our vote be private. In the caucus, that is not how that works, everybody. So, no privacy. There's a lot going on. So everybody, let's make sure that our phones are off and certainly on mute. And like and share, because I want to know what you all are thinking. And as you see the election results or the caucus results, let us know. And we'll share some of the history, and maybe Mrs. Jackson will jump in to share some of the history of what we learned about the caucuses when Reverend Jackson ran in 84 and 88. Because in fact, the rules that drive the caucuses now were shaped by the Jackson campaign. Because when Reverend Jackson ran in 1984, you had a winner-take-all system. You could get 49.9% of the vote and get no delegates. And so his refrain throughout the 84 campaign was, where are my delegates? Where are my delegates? And so they worked very hard to change the rules to make them more fair, but they're still not as fair as they need to be. So, so what do you think, everybody? You let us know who you got. If you could be in the caucus tonight, for whom would you vote? That is, okay, Phyllis just made a face.
I have no idea.
You have to bring Mike. Remember you need Mike?
No,
okay.
I really don't.
Okay,
I don't have a clue.
Would you get in the mic?
I don't have a clue, and I just printed out the names because I had to go back and look to see who's still left. And of the 11 people, and I'm looking at their issues, and they're all over the place in terms of their issues.
But that means it gives you options, Phyllis.
Yeah, but they're not, none of them are committing to it. They're saying maybe this, maybe that. I think. You know, I need something more definitive.
So you can fight with them?
Yes. Well, so we can hold them to whatever they commit to.
You know,
don't you think?
I can have some fun with Phyllis.
You know?
She's our contrarian.
So does everyone know?
And Ms. Lajala just came in.
Everyone does know who's left in the
Kind
race?
of, sort of. Why don't you give us the rundown of who's left in the race?
Senator Michael Bennett of Colorado.
No one knows he's
That's
running.
why I was like, who is he?
He's sitting in the Senate in the impeachment trial. Continue.
How did he get this far?
Well, just keep on. Let's read
Okay.
through the list.
It's not this far.
Well, then let's read. No. Let's read the list, please.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete
Buttigieg. You got it.
and Representatives Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, billionaire Tom Steyer, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, and tech entrepreneur Andrew Yang.
Very good.
But all of those people are
Well,
not.
I need to get you the mic.
They're not what?
All of those people, you cannot vote for all of those people in Iowa.
Well, actually, you can. But what happens with I'll tell you what happens. This is how. Let me explain to you how the process works. You can vote for whomever you choose. You can't vote for anyone who can actually get in Congress. That is, you can meet. You come into a room and you see placards with the names of all the candidates.
Okay.
And you line up behind the candidate of your choice. If you do not have enough people behind the candidate of your choice, then you have to, then other people from other campaigns come to you and they sell their candidate to you and they try to convince you to move into their camp. And that can go on all night long. So you do get an opportunity to at least express in the first draft, in the first round, for whom you have a preference. The problem is, if your person does, you can't, unlike a regular election, you can't just cast your vote and go on. You have to stay there and fight it out for the rest of the night.
How long is for the rest of the night?
It can last for a minute. It can last for hours. It can last for hours. Typically, you don't really see these caucuses during a weeknight. You see them on a weekend, on a Saturday. And so people get there in the morning and they can be there for hours. Okay. And so one of the things, and so you do get a chance to express a preference, but if your person doesn't get enough votes, they don't have enough people gathering for them. If they don't meet a 15% threshold of the people in the room, then you gotta join them. So they call it, it's a viability test. So that's how this works. So everybody, please like and share here on Facebook, and please like and subscribe on my YouTube page, my YouTube channel, which is the Santita Jackson Show. I've got my interns in here, Mateo and Cortez Wilson, the twins, everyone. They're young college students. Some young people. They're the young college students. And I've got Lady B, come on over here so everybody can see you, because Lady B and I, we meet first thing in the morning. And of course, Shirley from Philadelphia is here, and so is Tony. Our morning stars are here. Would you say hello, Lady B? Oh. I try to get her on the mic in the morning, and then she, oh my goodness. So let's talk about this caucus process and who you think. Where did Veronica go? Veronica, girl, let's get some music in the background, girl, and let's find out who you all who you think are viable candidates and why. I mean, because imagine, I personally would not want to be in a caucus. I'd like to cast my vote in private, because can you imagine your neighbor giving you the side eye? Because you might have been chatting, they might really like Yang.
Well, how do they choose?
Well, hold on.
The caucus or in the caucus?
First of all, in Iowa, you can register to vote at the door, which is interesting, which is good. So you can literally just walk in, you walk up, get registered, and walk into the caucus. Get registered to vote and walk into the caucus, which is great. But then, like I said, you walk into the room, and it could be, if it's a gym, you will see placards all over the gym. If it's a room, you will see placards all over the room, and you go sit behind the placard of your candidate.
So you're there really trying to persuade. You're there trying to persuade others that come in there to vote for your candidate.
Absolutely. If your candidate is not viable, then you have to.
But even if they are.
No. Viable, that is, you have to meet a 15% threshold.
Okay.
Now, it used to be 20%. The Jackson campaign fought for 10%, and the compromise was 15%.
Okay.
But again, like I said, when he ran, you had a winner-take-all system, which was absolutely unfair. So the fact that that part of the system was changed really was revolutionary. It became proportional. That is what enabled Barack Obama to run and win. But, Reverend also got women on the ticket, because he was the first top-tier candidate in the history of American politics to pledge to put a woman on the ticket. And no one who was running with him, including the eventual nominee, Vice President Mondale, would commit to that. He committed to it like 2 days before we went to the convention, right? And so we said, oh, okay, this is going to undercut all of our appeals for our platform, which it did do. Because, of course, the women's groups went and they said, we've got a woman on the ticket, and so we don't need to side with you on your minority claims. And that's the story. So that having been said, let's pass the mic around. Who you got, Phyllis? Or do you have anyone? Would you be? No, I mean, tell me.
I really
what do you
don't.
think of what do you think of the caucus process that you understand right now?
As I understand it, I didn't think it was that influential in making or deciding who would be standing. But it appears as though it is.
What do you mean?
Well, if you don't get, if these candidates, let's say 3 out of the 11, they don't get the 15% threshold.
Right.
they still on the, they can still run if they have the
They
money.
can run, but they will not get any votes out of Iowa.
Well,
That's how they work.
Iowa doesn't make or break, or does,
Well,
Yes,
it does.
yes.
Mrs.
No.
Jackson, you want to say something?
Well, I don't have the facts, but somebody who's listening should share the information with us. No. I'm just gonna do it from here.
No, but no one can hear you.
Okay, well, repeat what I said. Uh, It will determine, it sets the tone in the American scene because there are many elections after this particular caucus. And generally, people follow the leader.
do they?
So
I never
Iowa
do.
has historically,
Well, you know,
for
you're-
quite
But the
some time.
majority of people that I talk to don't even refer to the caucus.
Well, you know, well, I tell you what, let me tell you, this is what happens.
They refer to the winner.
Well, this is the
They
thing.
refer
This
to
is,
the winner.
let me say this. This is the thing. Hold on, everybody. Wait, because you know we cannot hear you. We don't want everyone to have. We want people to get what they, the best that they, what they can get out of the conversation. Julian Castro, the former HUD secretary, who's running for president up until a few weeks ago, and Senator Cory Booker, who from New Jersey was running for president up until a few weeks ago, they both complained about the fact that New Hampshire and Iowa just became the first in the nation caucus in 1976. So this is nothing that's been etched in stone. Okay, this is only 44 years old. They said, look, America has changed tremendously since 1976. Now I think it's at least a third of the states are majority minority. That is to say, a majority of a third of the states will have minorities in the majority vote. So that's very interesting. They said so America doesn't even look the same. So perhaps you should, so you don't frighten the people in Iowa and New Hampshire, because they really are very prideful about the fact that they're the first in the nation and they therefore set the tone. Because whoever comes out of Iowa, that is what gave Barack Obama his momentum. Because Barack Obama was way behind. Black people had not lined up behind Barack Obama. It was when he won Iowa that he became viable with black people. Black folks said, right?
Now, does that include an increase in finances as well?
It changes the game for you. When you win, okay, I'll give you another example. And I continue to go back to the Jackson factor, but I saw that. It was when he won Michigan, it was a game changer in 1980. He won, and it was the Michigan caucus, but we had learned how to work within the system as it was. And in a 6 or 7 man field, he got 56% of the vote, which was absolutely shocking. Time and Newsweek, which was already out on Saturday, they had to change cover of magazines on Saturday, and they had to completely redo the campaign because he became effectively the front runner. There's some races that are the game changers, and the game setter, which is the game changer, because everything is theory until tonight. Now tonight, when you walk away, you're going to find out who's viable. That's why they use those terms. Who's viable? Who can be convinced to move over from Biden? Okay, will you move from Biden to Bernie? I don't think so. Well, maybe you'll move over to Warren because she has enough of a chunk of the room. I feel more comfortable with Warren than I do Bernie. So that's how this begins to move around. But whoever comes out tonight, everybody except Bernie, because they keep beating him down. Whoever comes out tonight will have the big vote. They will have a good momentum. So before you speak, White, we've got Shirley from Philadelphia. Hey, Shirley. And we've got Anthony Jones, Meddy. Hey, Maria. Hey, sweetie. That's our flamenca. She comes to all of our events. And Linda White from Alabama. Hey, Chaparral. Oh, my goodness. Willie Eskridge, Tiger Lily. Hey, sweetie. Everybody like and share and use the hashtag who you got. Who you got. All right, everybody? Hashtag who you got. And so we want to know who you got tonight. Is it Biden? Is it Warren? Is it Buttigieg? Is it Tulsi Gabbard? Is it Klobuchar? Is it a moderate? Is it a progressive? Is it, you know, a moderate is a centrist? Is it a liberal? I mean, do you have Michael Bennett? Do you even know who that senator is? So like and share here, everybody. Like and share on the Santita Jackson and Friends page here on Facebook, but like and subscribe on the Santita Jackson Show. We need you to like and subscribe. Go on over to my new YouTube page. You all have been joining in great numbers, and we're very, very happy about that, aren't we not, Vidalia?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
This is so exciting.
It's very exciting because you see she's matching the inside of mine. Okay, everybody, so Dwight, you were about to say, and oh, Marcus snuck in, oh my. We're gonna have fireworks tonight. I'm sitting next to Dwight, I love it.
Yeah, I would say that our, those are called push books, is not just designed to show who's viable, it's designed to show who's not viable. They want to make sure that the people running has some consistency. So if you are in an hour, if you only are able to put in 3 to 4%, in spite of all the promotions you've run, in spite of the debates you've been in spite of all of the presumptions of popularity, when the rubber hits the road, and they look and see that out of 6 candidates, you're polling, you've only pulled in about 3%, then the money dries up, your support begins to dry up, and then they will start looking for a more viable candidate.
So
it's
people
designed
start
to do both
talking,
things.
right? And that's what I'm saying, you know what, I'm not putting my money to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
But
gonna be
also, there are scouts at each one of these polling places.
scouts.
People who observe the behavior and watch the political dynamics, and they get together and call shots in New Hampshire and then South Carolina. So it's a system.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, that's why it's important to understand how this process works, how it functions. Just a little light music, Ron, would you have a little light music, that would be great.
It's important just for your own information, but most people could care less about the caucus.
I disagree with that, you know, and I tell you why, and I want to pass the mic around. You are a very independent thinker, and I respect that. The challenge here is this. People are very influenced by the media. And when the media makes you viable, when the media decides that you are not viable, you have a heck of a pull, right?
Right.
So it is not, you're being you're being logical to a fault. The fact is people tomorrow morning are gonna wake up, and if they hear on MSNBC, CNN, Fox, and CBS, NBC, ABC, and these other networks that so-and-so is a front runner, that is what they're gonna be. That's the way they do it.
You think they're just gonna fall in line?
But that's what, historically, that's the media's job. That's what they do.
I understand that's what they try to do.
No, that is what they do. Now, I think maybe some of their effectiveness is beginning to wear off, but not enough, not yet. Mark, okay?
I was recently of the mind that, and that Iowa and New Hampshire are 4 barometers of
You need to use your outside voice to speak.
Oh, all right.
No, so people can hear.
All right. So I was of the mind that I agreed with people that were saying that Iowa and New Hampshire are both like are not barometers of the country. But then I began to think about something. One of the first northern states that talked about eliminating slavery was Iowa. Iowa was the state that before the Supreme Court ruled regarding interracial marriage had said that interracial marriage was legal. Iowa was the first state before the Supreme Court ruled that said that based on the issue of equal protection and due process of the law, and there were 4 judges that ruled in favor of marriage equality, and yes, they were all defeated and thrown out of office right after that. but maybe there's something about Iowa that we don't really know. And I would say this also about Iowa, particularly with the last election cycle, including Bernie Sanders in the race, which is not endorsement. I'm not feeling the burn, but more black people are living in Iowa, and they're being displaced. They're being displaced to Iowa from even Illinois.
But you know what, I tell you what else Iowa is doing, it's also at the top of the imprisonment of black people. That is something that no one ever talks about when they go to prison. Because for all of that, and the progressive, can someone remove that? No.
We got it.
Iowa also ranks among the worst in that regard.
In regard to black
the imprisonment of black people. It has one of the highest incarceration rates for black people.
Wow.
In the world. So.
Well, that might be the reason why out of the voting population in the state of Iowa, black people are 5%, Latinos are 4%, and then there's 2% others. So by my math, 5, 4, and 2 means 11, and that means 89% of the electorate is white. And that might be a very good reason as to why it doesn't necessarily represent the rest of the country in terms of voting statistics.
So do you agree that with Julian Castro and Cory Booker, that they need to change that should be the first in the nation, or maybe they should begin to rotate? Or maybe they should have Iowa, Nevada, and New Hampshire and South Carolina on the same day.
That would be huge.
Well, it would be something, you know, because
I'm not concerned really about whether Iowa goes first or last or middle. What I am concerned about is all the hype that the media gives Iowa.
But they give it the hype because they're first.
No, they give it the hype because they say, which is what they have been saying for the last 3 weeks or month, that so goes Iowa, so goes the rest of the country.
That's because they're first and they're white.
No, it's because they are white. And they don't want to give, particularly in the Democratic Party, the African Americans and how they will sway this election.
But that's why. But that's the point.
That is why. No. My point is that Iowa should not be given that credit.
But we're all in agreement with that. But that's why what we're trying to say is Iowa is given that honor of being first in the nation because they are white and they are able to set the tone. That's why you have Iowa, New Hampshire. And then it was as Reverend ran that you put in South Carolina.
That's right.
Which became, because he won it. If he hadn't won it, they would not have made it the black primary. But because he won it, they made it the black primary because 60% of that vote in the Democratic primary is black. And then Nevada has an ascendant Hispanic population, which is why they have now grouped these four in the first 4 weeks of the presidential primary season on the Democratic side. So these four races set the tone, but Iowa most particularly because it is first. That's why California, there was a fight before the 2020 season, because California said we're a majority-minority state, so we should be first. We should be first, and maybe we should have it in December. Oh, I'm sorry. So maybe, thank you, Mom. So maybe we should have it in December. So that having been said, who you got? If you could caucus tonight, who would you be with? And what do you think about this system?
Well, first and foremost, based on what Mark was saying, it sounds like Iowa's progressive. However,
But it will imprison you. I mean, I'm glad that they have marriage equality and that they but they are near the person in prison is black people. So you'll go to jail while you're there.
Okay, you get married to go to jail.
Everybody, before you begin, Sam, what I have to do is thank everybody. I want you to like and share here on Facebook on the Santita Jackson and Friends page, and we want you to go and like and subscribe on the Santita Jackson Show over on YouTube. And we welcome Betty Barnett, Daphne McDonald, hey, Lisa Ray, and is it Darnitha Murphy Heath? Darnitha Murphy Heath and Tony McCumber, one of my morning stars. Paula Zipper, oh, Paula, oh my goodness, don't get on her bad side, you guys. And Dee and Denise, and we need you to like and share and use the hashtag who you got, because we want to know who you got in this campaign. Sandra?
Based upon what Ms. Dobbins was speaking on, you said 89% or so is of the population, of voting population there in Iowa is Caucasian. Well, and them being the primary, and with them being the primary state that's running the caucus, then we know the tone that they're setting, no matter who they include for that first week. South Carolina, Nevada, whomever, we know who the first one is, the first state is, and that is definitely setting the tone.
But because only because of the media hype, and the media is pushing. I don't know that if the media didn't give it that much attention, that it would even set the tone. It would just be another primary.
But the same that goes for gun violence or any violence in the city, state, wherever. The media sets the tone.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not that it's the first or it's in Iowa. It's the media attention that it gets. Do you not agree?
I disagree.
Only probably a third of that, I should say.
What's the other 2/3?
Because of the strength behind the Iowa caucuses. Everybody, it looks to the Iowa, as Santita was saying.
Because they're first.
Because they're first.
So if you change it from Iowa to California, would you have the same strength?
Would you repeat that,
Not
please?
necessarily.
You went from Iowa and said, okay, well,
There are
California or
different demographics.
Illinois.
See, but history,
The different demographics is the white,
history
the
is a
percentage
teacher.
of white.
Phyllis.
Is that the difference in the
No,
demographic?
yeah, history is a teacher, and this is how the credibility of Iowa was built. When Jimmy Carter ran, who knew who Jimmy Carter was? But when Jimmy Carter won Iowa, that was significant. That was in '76, and then that became a staple. Like Santita mentioned about South Carolina. The only reason South Carolina is a factor is because of the historical note that was a big push for Reverend Jackson. And then he went on to places like Michigan, where there's a Ku Klux Klan chapter head there, and he won the Democratic primary. We gotta really understand, it's not just the media. The media is driven by something. And what they're driven by at this point is the historical note that this has been an indicator. And what it really is an indicator of is organization. Can you put together an organization that feels grassroots? Hampshire and Iowa. If you're from a political standpoint, you're a political wonk, it's like, can you pull together the team to reach all those counties, to go to all those neighborhoods? It's a small area, but it's a test of the tenacity of the infrastructure of your campaign.
Obviously, if you have enough money to do something.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
You should hold it like this.
Because Mr. Bloomberg is obviously has calculated his route to winning the nomination based on not going to New Hampshire and not going to Nevada, and not putting any people on the route, although he has enough money to have done so if he so chose.
So do we know what he's really doing?
We know what he is doing visibly right now or publicly right now. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes.
But that's what I mean.
And what is the
We know what he's not doing.
We
What
know
is his long-term
that he
strategy?
is not trying to defeat Trump. Okay. Because he could defeat McConnell.
I don't.
Mom, you're off.
You don't believe he's
I
trying to
believe
defeat
he is
Trump?
He
definitely
didn't put any
trying
money
to.
down there to defeat him.
I believe he is definitely trying to. beat Donald
And the
Trump.
guy in South
I
Carolina,
disagree with that. I don't think he's trying to beat Trump.
he's not trying to beat.
What is he trying to do?
He's trying to stagger the votes for the Democrats so that Trump can get in.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I don't agree.
Not
Absolutely.
that I am
I don't know.
for
That's the first time I've heard
any
that.
of the political parties.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Just
say
making a
that.
statement.
No, why, but I'd like you to explain your thinking.
I was thinking about that yesterday too. It's like, why is he not, involved in the Iowa caucuses? And, he's definitely getting his name out, via the media, but he's running, he's running as an independent, so.
Right.
And
His
why
vote,
is he
the
running
votes,
as a Republican?
but his
Which he
tone,
is, because he floats.
his tone is steered more toward the Democratic Party, the Democratic thinker.
Okay.
So he's going to sway some of those votes
The
away.
moderate, which is really the dynamo, the Democratic, the person who is really a moderate, or who is almost Republican. Because Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, has always been someone, he is like, whites move from party to party. They just need the party to mean it's not the end. That's all it is. And so what he does is, he's a Democrat. I mean, just like President Trump has been a Democrat, and he's been an independent. I mean, it's just whoever's going to make this happen. It's transactional. And he and President Trump really two different sides of the same coin. They really are. I mean, they're corporatists who, and Bloomberg has so much more money. And I think that you're right, because I think that if he really wanted to take it to Trump, I think that he could, but he's not.
He's not
He
accepting
will be
any
steering
campaign
those votes
contributions.
though
You don't
from
have
the
to.
Democratic Party.
This is,
And with that, with him taking the votes from one side, of course, many more will be voting for the Republicans.
because
You
because I
can
think
just
what
watch
we-
that, he's definitely going to.
Well,
That's
you
what
know-
he said, I believe that's what he set his mind out to do. And it's probably gonna happen.
No, but stay right there, because I want us to be mindful of the fact that the calculation is that this is going to be the most active, this is going to be the most voted, more people will vote in 2020 than have voted in 112 years, 1908.
Is that the speculation?
That is not the speculation, that's the study, it's the trend.
Based
From
on
from the University of Florida, Dr. Michael McDonald, who's an expert in voting trends, has published a study that given he's the one who told you how many people were going to vote in 2018 when he was dead on it. 2016, yeah, I mean, it's science to politics, that's why it's called political science, right? And so his calculation, just given the trends and given what happened in 2018, is that 180 million Americans, so 240 million are eligible to vote. I mean, who are registered to vote. Out of that group, 180 million to 190 million will be voting. And the system itself is not prepared to handle it. In fact, the officials in Michigan have sounded the alarm. They said, look, between provisional ballots, absentee ballots, early voting, we will not be able to get a result to you by the end of the night on election night. We have a mess because the system was never built for all Americans to vote, right?
Not really.
No, not really, not at all, right? Because no women, but even only land-owning white men were able to vote, period. So, the whole idea of enfranchising Americans, that's a really big deal.
But they digitalized it now, so they've changed it. So it does encompass more people. It can handle more people.
No, the thing is, the system, even with those technological advances, they are still not prepared. I'm just telling you what the officials have said. They said, we are not prepared. We're not going to be able to give you a result.
Oh, just in the same night.
Well, I mean, the thing is, remember hanging chads? And remember in Michigan, no, I mean, I'm just telling you what they said. You like data, you like, these are the scientists who do this all day, every day. And they said the system itself You need to call your Secretary of State wherever you live and make sure that your Secretary of State gets the system right, because they're in charge of voting in every state.
Can I also make a point in regards to that? In reflection of historical, you talked about hanging chads. In that year, there were more votes that were thrown away and lost in Cook County in Illinois than in Florida. So, I mean, but when we say that, I mean, the way to change the system is the way it's gonna have to be to break the system. Because like Santita says, it was never prepared to have the percentages of participation as they're gonna have in 2020.
2/3.
Yes, never thought that would ever happen.
Even though, I mean, of course, that's not optimal.
Right.
We'd like to have 100%,
Right.
but that's a huge number in the United States. And so, that voice you hear off camera is the wonderful Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson. My mama, hey, oh my goodness, and I see someone named Yusuf Jackson. What did he say? Oh, what are our viewers saying? What it is saying is that if Lily White, Iowa gives you the stamp of approval, you are acceptable to the rest of the country. That's from D. All right, D. All right. So a lot of people are making a lot of comments because, I mean, I have to tell you, Iowa crept upon me. I thought it was next week. I thought it was next Monday. I was prepared for next Monday. I wasn't prepared for tonight. So I mean, it's right here. It's right here. Mrs. Bergeron.
I was very tired of the time. They're not representative of the nation, Laos. They're not representative of the nation.
Just, your outside voice. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Just a little louder.
Okay. However, I do support Michael.
Now, why do you support Michael Bloomberg?
I've always liked Michael.
Why?
It's fine, I'm just surprised.
No, I mean, this is what would happen in a caucus, which is why caucuses, we're having our own caucus here. Caucuses are very interesting because you don't get a chance to go into the booth, have your say, and go on. You've got to defend yourself publicly.
Right.
Right?
Which I have no problem doing.
Okay, but what about those people? But explain your support for Bloomberg. What do you like about it?
I like Michael Bloomberg because I think that, first of all, I think he can beat Trump, and I think that he is trying to beat Trump. I personally feel that he does have an Illinois establishment too, even though it's very quiet right now. I don't know exactly what he's up to in terms of Illinois or anywhere else, but I think that he'll do well.
Let me ask you this. Does his full-throated support up until just a few weeks ago of stop and frisk, how does that make you feel?
It bothers me.
Does it bother you that he was he was full-throated in his support of stop and frisk up until just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, that bothers me, but a lot of things bother me. And you can't just pick one issue like the other. That I do not like about stop and frisk at all.
What do you
But what I do like is that I believe that he will build the black community for one thing. He will attempt to build it.
But he didn't do that when he was mayor of New York.
What is that?
Build the black community. I mean, I'm putting it out there because I think that while we are in this season, we need to ask, I think we need to put all the stuff out here because I appreciate that you support it because we've seen some prominent African Americans who are elected officials and members of the business community who see something in him that they like. And these are people I like and respect. I just, as someone who lived in New York, I saw him as mayor of New York, and stop and frisk put a chill in the air for black people in New York. And it was, in all 5 boroughs, it was, most of us don't live in Staten Island, but it was an awful thing to live through.
So he supported it when he
Not
was
only
mayor.
supported, he absolutely
encouraged it.
He implemented.
Now, what did that do for the crime rate?
You tell me.
Well, it depends how you define crime.
Well,
If crime
really,
is locked
really.
if crime, if you see crime also is locking up innocent people in jail.
Okay, there's
They put
always
seven-
that risk.
You asked me a question. Right?
All right,
So
well,
they put 700,000 people at risk, based on nothing but speculation.
did it bring the crime rate down?
No, they increased the crime rate because I consider that a crime.
Well, according to statistics, the media, did the crime rate go down?
Yes.
Not according to you.
Well, no,
But
if
you know
you
what crime-
if you incarcerate thousands of
The other
people.
woman off mic is Mrs. Jackson.
Ms.
No,
Jackson, I hear what you're saying. and I hear
If
what
you
you're saying in
incorporate,
terms of there's always-
if you incarcerate thousands of people,
You're bound to get a few of them that are guilty, right? Is that what you're saying?
are you serious? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
You got your Negro by the toe.
I'm not going to answer your question, Phyllis. Yes, the statistical crime rate went down under Bloomberg as mayor. Whether there were consequences behind that, that's another issue to discuss.
Well, they didn't go to
And
Wall
that's
Street.
very
They,
important
and they did, you know.
I didn't say it wasn't
And
important.
they didn't arrest anybody.
I just
on Wall
answered
Street.
your
And
question.
no, but I have to tell you, my brothers have been arrested.
Okay,
And they didn't commit any crime but be black and try and open a business.
there you go.
Well,
So,
that,
I mean,
is that
no,
all
no, no,
because
no,
of
it's-
stop and
and
frisk?
yeah, and yeah, stop and frisk. And
But that can happen
It's
now.
actually
It happens
wrong.
all the time.
Right, it happens
And
all the
other
time.
states,
With
other
the
states
support-
But
began.
what you saying, what I hear you saying is that it's coincidental if black people are violated by unjust law.
Coincidental?
When you say, well, as long as the crime rate statistically went
No,
down.
I asked if it went
then-
down, and the answer was yes.
But I'm saying that it also went up because you incarcerated people without just cause. And that's criminal.
Oh, okay. Not on the books, it's not.
Who
I
keep
hear
the
what you're-
books?
I hear what you're saying.
Who keep the
I hear
books?
what you're saying, that you don't want to incarcerate those that are not guilty. I get that.
Do you support that?
Do I support what?
Do you support not incarcerating people who are not guilty?
Of course I do support
No,
that.
but
I do.
But you support arresting them.
I do support, to some degree, stop and frisk. To some degree. Now, of course, it was abused. And in the state of Illinois and no doubt New York. But there is an issue here with the crime being out of control. And I don't know if we want to go into all that.
No,
because
no,
we're
no,
talking-
yes, we do.
It's not all just poverty.
No,
It's
it's
like-
not
It's not all just lack of
because at
jobs.
the same time.
It's
it was
not
like-
all just lack of
At the
opportunity.
racism.
At the same time. that
Well,
there was-
there's always racism.
Same time they were stopping this, same year we were stopping this, was the violation of the national economy by Wall Street. Wall Street went rapid in terms of.
And that's the reason why.
But there was no
crime in the
stop,
streets.
but there was no stop and frisk on Wall Street. And they were committing crime.
White collar crime. We know that white collar crime
So
is
why-
treated differently than blue collar crime. We know that.
So everyone, please,
I'm not
just
saying
love
that's
that.
right.
Everybody
But we know
like and
that. Do you
share.
not disagree that they're treated differently?
That's my point.
Just one moment, please continue. Like and share on the Santita
I'm not saying
Jackson and
it's
Fred's page.
right, but
And
they've
then,
always been
and
treated
then
differently.
like and subscribe on the Santita Jackson show on YouTube. Everybody, I need you to go on over there because you all were commenting. What is my brother Yusuf saying? Iris Reese, Patty, and Sheila, and Carly Nathaniel, and Therese, hey, Kenya, sweetie, Asia. Boy, you all are listening tonight, and we're talking about the Iowa caucuses and the issues that are driving them. And thank you, Ms. Berjala, for opening up this discussion as you talk. But no, but you know, no, don't call that.
No, because all of that is important. All of
Okay,
that is
what are you about to say, Dwight? Before you squeeze the life out of the light?
We're just listening to the effect of media on the human personality, on black personality.
black
What do you mean?
person, the effect of media on the black personality. What is the effect of media on the black personality?
That it can create a two-tier system of justice in your spirit.
But in my spirit, that's a fact. There is a two-tier
But you
system of justice.
you seem to dismiss one and exalt the other.
Hold on.
Which one am I dismissing? Which one am I exalting?
You are dismissing stop with Chris because you say that it affected.
It was helpful.
I did not say it was helpful.
You
I
said
asked
it
the
eliminated certain.
I asked the question, what did it do for the crime rate? That was my question. I didn't say it eliminated crime. I didn't say I supported it.
And when
the elimination,
and when
well, of
Mrs.
course I do
and when
support the
Mrs.
elimination of crime.
And when Mrs. Dobbins said that it brought the crime rate down, it's
But with ramifications.
There's always ramifications.
But the ramifications can be dismissed.
It's as if your point had been made, that it was going to drive down crime.
Well, I believe that was probably what was the objective?
The objective,
it
you know
drove down
what, you know what it did do?
What was the objective?
No, the objective, I'm about to give it to you.
The objective, I believe, probably was to lower crime rates, was it not?
No,
Wasn't crime
one of the things you don't
controlled
want to
in
do.
New York?
You don't, let me just say this, we're not going to laugh at each other, okay?
Well,
Because, no, it's okay. No, because I don't want anyone to feel that they can't express themselves without feeling that somebody's swearing. So, I mean, I hear you, but
I feel
the
intimidated.
point, never. One of us, nobody. So anyway, no one. That's the biggest joke in the world, that my mother's intimidated by anybody. We all call her the most frightening human being on earth. We love her. That having been said, what it did do was put a chill in the black community. I'll give you this. And this happened just before, and I can give you the run-up to Stop and Frisk and its implementation. You've heard of Black Enterprise magazine.
yes.
Because for all of these very, very liberal places, they also have a very, very right-wing reactionary element. California, New York has it. Wherever you see liberals, and people who fancy themselves liberal and progressive, you also see a very racist reactionary element. But that's law of physics, right? Every reactionary is an equal and opposite reaction. Earl Graves, of the Graves Publishing family, he was on his way to Westchester, which is a wealthy community just outside of New York City. And he was on his way home for the weekend, and he was walking through Grand Central Station. Now, his son is about 6'4". They were looking for a young black man who was 5'10". They arrested Butch Graves, put him in handcuffs and so excuse and had him do the perk walk through Grand Central Station. Okay? And of course, because he was a person of some prominence, he was able to highlight the issue. And this was in the lead up to Stop and Frisk. Because we also had Mayor Giuliani, who had been the former prosecutor. He was the lead prosecutor. He was the lead prosecutor in New York. And what he did after leading a riot on Mayor Deacon's City Hall, which they were shouting, "It will with the police." He led the police. Remember, it was a riot on City Hall. You're right. It was awful. That set a tone. Because remember, this is a city where they killed Yusuf Parker, who was just going to buy a bike. Just going to buy a bike. This is in the summer of '89. Just going to buy a bike, and he was on his way he walked into the wrong neighborhood in Brooklyn, and they killed him. Remember that?
These were the residents.
Yeah.
Not the police.
No, the residents, yeah.
Okay.
Because this is where you have the black-white tension in New York City, in liberal New York. There are black folks and white folks and everybody live in silos in New York. New York is a very segregated place, is it not? It's highly segregated. Not just by money, it's just a very segregated place. And so, in our segregated silos, when you saw the police walking down the street, you would get stopped and frisked. When police come to black people, Phyllis, you know that it's not good. When they come to you, it ain't no good thing.
Okay, and all of this, you're saying that to say what?
I'm saying it set a chill in the black community.
Okay.
And
Of fear.
Of fear, and because black folks were getting stopped and frisked, arrested, and all kinds of things. You remember when
I disagree that it was abused.
not just abused, it's awful. They didn't do it in the
And
white community.
It's they're
Are you
being-
telling me the white people don't commit crime?
Absolutely not.
So why wouldn't they have why wouldn't they have stop and frisk in the white community? Why
I
wouldn't
don't
they?
know. I don't know.
Oh, I guess because they don't commit crime. I guess they must.
And that's why,
No, but
and
I'm not
that's
saying that they
why
wouldn't.
Wall
They
Street,
didn't.
Well, I don't, okay, if you say they didn't, then they didn't. Okay. I'm not gonna dismiss that or argue about it. If you say they didn't, they didn't. It was abused. I don't
It's
disagree
not what
with
I
that.
say, it's what, it's.
Statistically, according to the facts, according to history, yes, it was abused. It was abused in Chicago as
Well,
well.
I don't care. I'm just saying it happened. Wherever it happened, it was wrong. It was not just. I'm not looking at the abuse. I'm looking at the use, because the use of stop and frisk, there is no good end to it.
Can I add something?
It's not.
I don't know about that. I don't
Let
agree
me
with
add
that.
just one thing to this.
I need you to hold
Because-
everyone just a little.
because-
Just one moment.
Okay.
Just a little housekeeping. I need people to use their outside voices.
All right.
So one moment, so that people can hear. I need you to speak into the mic this way. Hold it a little closer so that people can hear you clearly. Okay? All right, Mark.
I'm sort of torn when I hear Phyllis talk, because I will tell you something. I was working in the Michigan legislature in the 80s, and I was working for the Speaker of the House staff, and I was working for a good Democrat, and we felt compelled to pass legislation like stop and frisk, being hard on first-time offenders, shutting people down, being very aggressive. And the reason is because that was the information that we had at that time.
But you know what, Mark, the problem, the reason that's hard for me to find
Right.
is, good Democrat, I don't even know what that means. Really, I don't. What my thing is, when police roll up on black people, particularly black boys, that is not a good thing. And you're the father. You're a father and a grandfather
But what about this?
of black boys and men.
Exactly.
You know that is not good. And even with that information, no one commits more crimes that go unprosecuted. There's so many unconvicted white fellas who walk around these streets, it is not funny.
You're right.
They are never arrested.
Right.
They are not even disciplined in school.
Right.
They arrest black children who are 4, 5, and 6 years of age, and they're putting them in the backs of cars. They don't do that to white kids.
Well,
They call
yes.
the white parents, and then then the white kids walk around in goth outfits, and then they go and kill everybody in the school. Or they go and they kill everybody in the church, and then they take them to Burger King because he's hungry.
Here's the thing, though.
That's not the extreme.
Here's
That's
the
real.
thing. What we were dealing with at that time
Extreme.
was that
They're gonna get
across
comments
the
from
street
the audience.
from the representative that I worked for, around the corner from where I lived, his black neighbor had been killed in his garage driveway by people who were committing a crime.
And black
So all I'm trying-
folks supported 3 strikes you're out under
Right.
Clinton because they liked Clinton.
Exactly.
Reverend said that was a mistake. And you know what? It was a huge mistake.
Right.
And we have supported NAFTA. We've supported some things that have absolutely hurt.
Lost.
But it
Right.
amazes-
But my point is.
Okay, let him finish and then.
My point
I need
is,
to take this.
my point is that we have a position of, I was talking to someone the other day, within the church they have a term they're using, but we have a condition where we are able and seeking to be enlightened. I am so pleased that most of the legislation that I worked on in the 80s with the Michigan legislature has been overturned, and we know more. We know more.
What do you know
But
now?
all I'm trying to say is with Barbara supporting Bloomberg and with what Phyllis is saying about what we have, don't condemn people who are trying to do good that made mistakes. Because we've had the opportunity
we're
to
not
correct
condemning
these
anything.
things.
Can I respond to that?
Yes,
It amazes me
it amazes me too.
that a gay community that rioted over stop and frisk could be so conservative on it when it comes to black people. The whole riot around gay rights was Stonewall.
Stonewall.
Explain
Stonewall.
Which
Wait a
was
minute.
essentially,
Explain Stonewall, because that stops.
Oh.
No.
Essentially what?
it was essentially stop and frisk. It was the
Well, it was
presumption.
more than that.
It was the presumption that gay people, by their nature, their history, and their activity, was creating crime. And the police had the right to just impose.
It was a crime for you to be with one another.
No, not quite.
That's right, to impose.
Stonewall
So
was a shakedown.
they would,
That's stopping.
That went bad.
whatever it was stop and frisk. They had the right to just impose themselves in your activity on the presumption that you were creating a crime, to then arrest you on suspicion. And the gay community rioted and said this is unfair, that they only target us. They only target us. Now that when it came to black people and brown people, the same laws, they never took the level of consistent position to say that this is unjust. Because they're doing to you all on a larger scale what they did to us on a small scale. And there are monuments today to the rioting and the end of stop and frisk in the gay community. That is the emancipation. They consider it as the emancipation.
That's a little long.
Well, then.
Okay.
Well, what-
Okay,
Because I felt like you-
first of all, Stonewall was a police shakedown that went bad.
Stop and frisk is.
No. The owner of Stonewall had an arrangement with the New York Police Department to not come in there. He had not made his payment, so they came in and they raided the
But
bar.
the only
And
reason they come in was based on the law, the presumption of the law.
The reason first of all, those people knew they were breaking the law. The reason they came, and the law was that you had to wear 3 pieces of garments that were gender consistent, or you would stand arrest. And the other thing is, it was not a bunch of white men or white queens up in there. That was primarily black and Latino. Stonewall was
And
initiated
their
by
lives
black and Latino trans women and men who said, "Not another day," because and it included the fact of what had happened with black folks overall in civil rights. And it came to that point, but it's a little different than what you're
So
saying.
why was it wrong for them to do this to you all, but not?
Oh, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. No, listen. Look, what was wrong was the fact of to not tell the story. The corruption of the New York Police Department that said that they had this arrangement that if you pay us a cut, we will not come there. They did not go to the white bar. They didn't. Stonewall, Christopher Street, look at Christopher Street during that time. Christopher Street was not where white folks were.
Mark, what you're missing, what I think, because I agree with Dwight, I think the piece that you're missing is not the specifics, we're looking at the general.
And generally, they came after black and Latino people.
And generally, stop and frisk came after black and Latino people for no reason other than that they were black and Latino people.
So we don't talk about
No.
scam.
We
We don't talk about
No. I mean,
corruption.
so, and they came after Stonewall was because they were gay people, period.
Who did
And
not
so,
pay their
no,
cut.
it doesn't matter. That was just an excuse. They came after gay people because gay people having sex with one another was illegal. You know that.
But not only having sex, dressing.
No.
Dressing differently.
I'm saying your intimate life. So you were targeted. Boom. Black people have been targeted. But it is funny to me that that's something that you can justify. And you are a father and a grandfather. I'm
But
just
I
shocked.
think we need to talk
When
about
this
I think what we
legislation
need to
came
do
down,
is finish this
when we
because
were working on this
because
legislation,
you
we had to do something because there was this, and I thought it was stupid because it's the same arguments that Hitler gave with the Nazis. There's violence in the streets.
Let me say this,
Yeah.
okay? Because before we get off into all of that.
Okay.
This is what a caucus would look like.
Yes,
Just so
exactly.
that you know.
Exactly.
Has anybody been persuaded
hold on.
to move on to a different candidate?
Well, the first thing before you get persuaded to move on to another, before you move on to another candidate, no, you have to be viable in order to have a voice. If you do not have 15% of the people in the room behind your placard, you have no voice. You automatically either you go with someone else or you leave.
Well, in the caucus world, but if it's Bloomberg, you say he's not even participating. He has enough money, he's still going to run ads, he's still going to run.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's interesting that he's not participating. But tonight, if you were in Iowa, hashtag everybody who you got. Hashtag who you got, and we want you to like and share here on the Santita Jackson and Friends page. You all have been liking and you have been sharing. We're so glad about that. We want you to go over to the Santita Jackson Show on YouTube. Please go on over there, everybody, and like and subscribe. Please go to the Santita Jackson Show and like and subscribe on YouTube, because we need to grow that, and we are so appreciative of your support. And of course, we will be reviewing the results tomorrow morning on WCPT on my radio show from 6 to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on WCPT820.com, and we'll be streaming live here on the Santita Jackson and Friends page, and we want you to like and share there, and we will be streaming live on YouTube on the Santita Jackson Show. So, you about to say something else, Mark? Okay. I want to know, go around the table, tell me who you got. Now, Mrs. Rajana said she had Bloomberg. Sandra, for whom would you vote?
Sandra's not here, but that
Okay,
is his.
Sandra, just so white. Thaddeus?
I'm technically like the wrong person to ask because A, I wouldn't vote for none of them, but my viewpoint is more like as a voter / like practitioner in the work, but I always do implore people to be more familiar with their platforms and not necessarily the personalities and sound bites, because that is always the biggest issue with every presidential cycle. There's too much attention on the clapbacks. Oh my God, they said this, someone said that. Well, who has the most outright Virginia for black people? Like,
But Thaddeus, if you were in Iowa tonight, would you, so what I'm asking you is, please give me your microphone back, because I want to hear from you. Please take the mic. What I'm asking you is, would you then not participate? You would not vote then tonight?
I wouldn't, but on account of like the field being large and like none of them, in my opinion, have done enough to really differentiate themselves. But also considering it's a primary and they agree on 60 to upper stage to the things, it's like you're gonna have to show me something else or be a little bit more definitive.
So you wouldn't vote tonight? So you would just choose not to vote?
No.
Okay. All right, so you would just give away your voice?
Just for the primary.
Yeah, definitely. But also, that's why I said, like, my viewpoint is based on being a voter and a practitioner of the work. Like, I do this work to earn money, so it's like my viewpoint of it is a little bit different than what they project. So, on some levels, I've kind of seen, like, some of the things they got going on behind the scenes. I heard some things, and it's kind of intriguing to say the least.
Well, I hear you. I understand having an insider's view, but I think, just given, you got to get in the game if you want to change the game, and if you want to reshape it. And I think that not voting is just something I would hope that if you were in Iowa, which you're not, it's something that you would want to reconsider. But I vote.
I'm being saved. Ms.
Well,
J,
I make
you
an additional point real quick.
Please, sit there.
Ms. J.
Thank you. Oh, boy.
Well, more so at this rate, it's like a primary. So if anything, everyone's trying to like more so not say trying to win, but more so the delegate game and how this convention's going to shake out. That's what has me kind of like more intrigued, but that's its own conversation to say the least.
Mrs. Jackson.
I vote for an open convention so that we can get to Milwaukee and fight it out. Since we haven't made a decision at this time, I'm hoping that we get to, that we have
You have a real convention.
a real convention.
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means everybody will take their little bag of books to the floor, and it will work almost like the.
Let me
the
ask you
caucus.
this: when you were in Miami in 1972, when Bill Singer, Alderman Bill Singer, and Reverend Jesse Jackson unseated the Daily Machine, the regular Democratic machine, was that an open convention?
I'm not so sure. You know, I'm not so sure. It's kind of difficult for me to grasp. I have to now work at my age of being current. So I have some history, and I rely on you and Dwight to go back and do that. But I think an open convention would be very exciting for the American people.
But do you think
Give us a chance to put some of the old girls and fellows on the floor. It will give us an opportunity to vent some of our feelings, and then we should move straight ahead. Also,
do you think we'd be able to do that?
I think it's going to come to that. I think from what I'm hearing from South Carolina and Virginia, that Steyer is having an impact on the black community because he has placed monies in black banks, and he has lived up to his commitment.
Really?
That's what I am
I haven't seen
hearing.
a commercial.
No. But you know what? I think, Mrs. Jackson, what you have to do is explain the business of politics.
And
When the business of politics is when you come into a town or you come into a state, you set up a campaign operation. The campaign operation has to have bank accounts. They have to. No, I'm just trying to say.
Well,
no, Mom. Let me explain this. You have bank accounts because you have payroll. No, one moment. You have payroll. You have to rent a place, right? And so what he has done is committed to going into he has put his money in black banks. He has hired black vendors. He's worked with black businesses so that and so black people have been able to feel a positive
ads in black newspapers.
Yes.
You can't
Which is something we
starve us
have.
out and then expect participation. We want to be cut in.
I don't disagree with
We
that.
want to
but
be cut in
my
and treated
point,
like everybody else.
I agree. And they know they have to spread the money around. I don't disagree with that.
But the candidates don't do it. They typically do not do that.
And those that get the attention are the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Those who make the loudest noise in the community. And I don't mean just in banks, because the people that are voting, they don't know. A lot of them don't know what's being set up. All they know is what they see on television or the media. And these are the votes. One vote per person, okay? No matter how many businesses you affect, it's still one vote per person.
But the jobs are now. Put your money where your promises are. You don't promise us without some evidence. Even with some of the officials, if you've done nothing, why are you coming to us now? Why
He wants to be president.
Why do you come to us now?
He wants to be president.
If you are mayor of a small town and whatever, and you've done nothing in your town to prove your value and your character with, as far as being open to diversity, why are you coming now? It's just words. And most of us know that campaigns are often filled with tons of lies.
Absolutely.
And it's time that we stop it.
So,
In a perfect world.
do you, no, in a just world. That's not perfect, that's the way God planned it. Is there anyone for whom you would vote?
Not at this time. I've been going through some of the issues.
Is there anyone who impresses you?
Not really.
So if you were in Iowa tonight, Okay.
I would go around and listen to those who are the supporters, and I would ask them why Bernie Sanders? Why Biden? Why Elizabeth Warren? You know, what are they going to do?
What could be said? What do you want a candidate to stand for?
There's not just one thing.
No, I didn't ask you for one thing. I said,
Okay.
what do you want your candidate to stand for?
That's a good question. I have to think about it.
Okay,
I have to
okay.
think about it.
What would appeal? Do you know what would appeal to you?
No, that's not true.
He said
And I don't want to
stop.
be known for that. Okay. Even though I don't, my concern with that is it was abused. Okay. We're not going to go back into stuff. Okay. We're not going to go back into that. But anyway, there's a lot of, it's like for instance, there are certain topics, for instance, do you support federal legalization of recreational marijuana? Some of the major issues, gun control, health care, education, getting rid of the debt. You know, they say these things.
Why did marijuana rank?
Because it's right here on the.
No,
I mean, even though I have my questions.
Because the media wrote it?
No. I'm just saying these are some of the major
No,
issues.
I'm just saying the media is telling you.
No, these are major.
Why? Because the media, you just read it.
Well, I'm not dismissing that.
Oh, I'm just saying.
I'm not dismissing that at all. But these are issues that affect me. The legalization of marijuana.
Okay, I'm not.
It impacts
You do know
It impacts
Republicans
all of us.
are caucusing too. Republicans are caucusing.
Just around Trump.
No, they're not. No. There are other Republican candidates.
Joe Walsh.
Yes, there are other Republican candidates that are seeking. There are Republican candidates tonight that are seeking. They're also seeking delegates. So they're also thinking of. There's a couple.
And they should.
So given the fact that we put all the pressure or all the focus on the Democrats, the Republicans are caucusing too. So when the question is asked, who you with, you have an opportunity.
What are you saying, Mark? What are you saying, Mark? I don't know. What are you saying, Mark? What are you implying?
You've been very supportive of the president.
I have not been as non-supportive as the majority of people.
That's right.
That's all.
That's
I didn't say I was supportive of him. I just don't feel the need to condemn the man for everything wrong in the world.
I hear you.
That's my
I
position.
agree with that.
So would
Okay.
you caucus for him?
I'm
No,
sorry.
but you know, wait a minute. Would you?
For Trump?
Yes. It's okay.
No, I
It
don't
is
know.
okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, see, and let me say
I
this.
can't commit to that. But I can't commit to a Democrat either.
Okay.
Which is
And,
fair.
but you know, but I think one of the things that we have to do is be, you know, if she did decide to caucus for Trump, I think what we would need to do is respect that and not condemn her for that. One of the things that has been very, very disappointing to me about this process is the demonization of people wherever you stand. People believe what they believe, and people are appealed to for various and sundry reasons, and that is their business. Period. Because when you talk to me about Democrats, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, to me, I have to take people on a case-by-case basis. Absolutely. Case by case. And I want to know what our plan is for our advancement, period. That's why I want to know candidates. Where are you investing your money? Because money is part of the campaign. I want to know where is your bank account? Because the people who work for you are issued paychecks. Mm-hmm. That is important to me. Because that is letting me know where you're making an investment. I want to know who has a janitorial contract for the place that you're renting. Mm-hmm. That matters to me. And because we've been in a campaign, I know how that works. And that was something that we learned, something that we didn't know. Mm-hmm. Let me say this. I didn't know that the Democratic and Republican parties are private corporations, that they're not government entities. They're private corporations with boards called committees who pretty much favor a candidate. They do. There's just something funny happened on the way to the forum. I know in 1984, 1988, you had some people pop up out the ground, and they were not with the establishment candidates, and it turned everything upside down, right side up. So, you know, my question again is, you're saying tonight, if you would just literally have to go around.
I have to go through
Is
some
there
of these
anyone-
issues. And basically what I would do is, the issues, education, healthcare, and I would see what would my answer be for getting rid of, canceling the debt, or any of these issues. And then go through each one and see which one lines up with most of my answers. Because at this point, there's nothing personal. I mean, I don't just like one over the other. I would see which one lines up with what I agree with. And I would probably go with that person.
Now, one thing.
Okay, I tell you what, Lorraine says, happy birthday, Lorraine. Everybody say happy birthday, Lorraine. She would have been here, but it's her birthday. You must know what you want out of a candidate if you say you won't vote because they don't excite you.
But you know what? I don't want to get too far from this, who the campaign's spending money for. Jonathan Jackson made a very poignant, significant point after when we're analyzing 2016. That of all the black folks that worked for Hillary Clinton, not one would write a check for anything. That's a problem. That's a problem. So, I mean, because we are, I know of other campaigns where there are qualified, accomplished black practitioners that will go die on the vine because they're just.
So did Bernie have that either?
No.
Okay, then, so I'm just saying, don't just
But
say
you have
that.
a black people that was.
No, she doesn't sign, no, Nina doesn't sign checks, State Senator Nina Turner, so I'm just saying, so I'm saying.
You mean sign checks for the campaign?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to if you're going to bring that up about Hillary, you had two people who were really running on the Democratic side.
Yes.
And someone who was extremely progressive. Hillary Clinton has been known to have center-left politics. So I'm just saying to you, that was one of the complaints about Bernie too.
Right.
That he, you know, so that's what I'm saying with Tom Steyer. That's why he is number 2 in many polls around the state of South Carolina. Because, well, the thing is, it's anybody's race. And that's why I think that your point about Bloomberg, for some reason, he appeals to you. He appeals to John Rogers. He appeals to many black mayors around, you know, and I just, as someone who's been in and out of New York, lived there for a long time, I see him and I see Mayor Giuliani, and I go, oh my gosh. You know, because I lived with him. You know, and I saw what happened, you know, just from day to day in the community. And stop and frisk was frightening. Because, you know, we had a guy, Amos Diallo, that we also had, we had a guy who was raped in the jail cell with, you know, for the torture. You know, I mean, that's New York too. And then stop and frisk happened. It was implemented after that. So when you got that, you had a young man who's a Haitian American who's down in Times Square with his family, and the police officer walked up to him because he wanted to know if he had drugs. And he turned Patrice, don't we smoke? And he said, you get away from me. And they killed him in front of his family in New York City. And then
You think so?
no,
Contributing all of that?
No. This is before they implemented stop. Stop and frisk. After you had these horrific incidents where a guy shot 41 times in his doorway, it was after that you got stop and frisk. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all already been killing everybody. What's wrong? And so when he came to when Mayor Bloomberg came to the black community, specifically to Pastor A.R. Bernard's church, and said, you know what, I've had a rethink. He met crickets. black community was real salty about that. All my friends, always from New York, and they were like, "You'll never guess what happened today." And they were upset. You know, people were upset because you know what's happened. You know the people who were killed because we looked at the body.
The trouble is
Yeah,
not, the trouble is not, like I was at a press conference supporting Congressman Davis, supporting Biden. I was not supporting Biden as much as I was a congressman. And,
Has he endorsed Biden?
yeah,
Vice President Biden?
Biden has Alderman Dow and other folks. Now, interesting enough, Congressman Rush is supporting Bloomberg.
Okay, really?
But the point is that I don't think the difference between Biden and Bloomberg and stop frisk and school busing is that Bloomberg is saying it doesn't make sense now.
What does he?
Stop and frisk. He's saying it now. What is troubling to me is that Biden still thinks that his position on busing was right.
Absolutely.
That's unsettling.
I mean, I'm saying, yes, he
he
does.
does.
I roll back on it.
She
Wait a minute, but that was how many years ago? Are you saying that he can't change?
Well, you know, no, he is.
The point is, it hasn't
He has not
changed.
changed. You know,
Leopards
did you
don't
know
change their
Did you know
spots.
American schools are more segregated?
People do.
Leopards.
No, but did you know,
People
no,
do.
wait a minute. Did you know that American schools are more segregated now than they have been in 50 years?
It doesn't surprise me.
No, because you're a data woman. So I'm just saying to you, it's something, I need some more than it doesn't surprise me. I mean, as fact-driven as you are.
This is about Biden making a
This
decision
is about
that he made
and I
30,
remind
40 years ago,
No,
right?
no,
This is
no, no,
about
no,
the
no, no,
statement
let me tell you what
made
happened.
last
Let me,
year
no,
that
no,
Texas still was
no,
wrong.
let me tell you what happened with
At
Biden.
that time.
May I tell you what happened with Biden? What he did with what the impact of busing has? We lost the only black senator that we had in the U.S. Senate at that time.
And you blame that on him?
Absolutely, and other, Dr. Jonathan Kozol, who's written extensively about it, wrote absolutely. And he said, and this is a white man, he said, black people need to ask him about school desegregation because he has never come out and reversed his decision on school desegregation. And as a matter of fact, in this campaign cycle, he has laughed about making common cause with the segregationists. And he said in this campaign cycle, but you know what they never called me boy. Excuse me.
So it's not just 30 years ago, it's the affirming comments of not having any
So you're
type of,
saying-
well, you know what?
So you
Look,
believe that if that question was put to him today, that he would have the same answer?
I can only go by what the man has already said.
Excuse me,
And
thank you,
it's been put to him
I don't believe
yesterday,
that it would be.
and it's been put to him yesterday, it's been put to him within the last 6 months.
And he,
And his response was, his position, he did not say, it was his decision that his position, the statement was not one of intellectual evolution, but of one of trying to explain and justify bad behavior.
Well, and I would say everybody continue to like and share. We're going to close this conversation off in a couple of minutes. But like and share on Facebook. And please go over to YouTube, The Santita Jackson Show, and like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe and continue the conversation because this is what will be happening in the caucus. We're having our own caucus, a blockus, if you will. Everybody is black. But, you know, everybody who's watching is not black. So this is what will be happening. This is what's happening, no, not would be, it's happening in Iowa right now. If you are not viable, that is to say, if you do not get 15% in a room, you have to move to another candidate. I think it's important for us to explain that process. The good thing is you can register and vote and walk into the caucus. You could be unregistered up until today and register, walk to the caucus, and get behind a candidate. But if you don't have 15%, if your candidate does not have 15%, then you are obligated, well, you have the option of going to another candidate. And if you don't like the other candidate, some people do leave. Some people do. So, well, no, I mean, that's how it works. So what you're seeing here is what's really happening, because people get up and give speeches, and there is a real debate, a real back and forth. I saw they had some of these satellite caucuses where you saw different candidates had no one standing. You know, like Bloomberg and one. I mean, this is just a snapshot. So we don't know what's happened, so we're going to have to continue to watch, obviously, tonight. And of course, we'll be talking about this on the Santita Jackson Show on WCPT 820 in the morning. From 6 to 8 a.m., 6 to 8 a.m., we will be talking about this and maybe a little bit of impeachment, because we're running headlong into that too. Because many people are concerned that the exoneration of the president by the U.S. Senate could suck a lot of the air out of the room, or suck a lot of the air out of this balloon. You know, so we will see how all this plays out. As you can see, you know, you have someone here who wants to hear what the candidates have to say. You, right? You've made up your mind about Bloomberg. You're not alone. Who do you have? Mark, pick up the phone, Mike, and because I'm going to pass this around.
I was supporting Kamala Harris.
She's gone now.
She's gone, and I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Are you inclined toward anyone? Is there anyone who has your interest? Is there anyone who's intriguing?
Honestly, and I just only say that I'm interested because I think that there's more pluses than minuses. I would like either Patrick DeVaul Patrick, I'm sorry, or Bloomberg.
Okay, then what about Bloomberg? Can you let her hang out there by herself? Shame on you. You let her hang out there by herself. He likes Bloomberg. Mark.
Oh, no.
Which is okay.
No, Miss J. I said
I'm supportive of an open convention.
Yes.
I think there's enough confusion amongst all of us. We need to get into under one roof and make a decision
work it out.
if you're serious
Right.
about the Democratic Party. I think we're at a point of revolutionary proportions. We are in trouble. People are fine combing and looking, and we're in a mess. And if we don't sit down and discuss this and come out under one umbrella and give it our best shot, I think we need
Everybody under the tent.
under the tent.
Don't be
Under the
outside.
tent.
Carry on.
Under the tent.
Come in
And
here.
that's my position. Thank you,
Come in
Santita,
here
for
and
the
got
Santita show.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be with you in this lively group, especially Dwight. Wait, and we're gonna give them
Take it away.
her phone number.
Okay, I need you to tilt it down this way on that side. Mateo, okay, there you go. Okay, that's it. Everybody, okay, Mrs. Dobbins, who you got?
Biden,
Who?
Biden.
because I think he's the best person that's going to beat Donald Trump.
Okay, so electability is
Most
your
of the
real.
best delegates to beat Donald Trump, number one. And number two, he's the only person on that stage that's going to go in there knowing what to do and to really clean the swamp.
He's in the swamp.
I don't believe he's in the swamp. You asked me my opinion. You keep giving me your opinion.
No, I just look, they already said.
Don't tell me look.
No, I'm about.
He's in the swamp.
He's in the, look, one of the things that you've seen from this whole Ukraine thing.
Okay, you asked me my opinion,
I
Santita.
am, but I'm trying
And
to.
she reacted.
No, you weren't trying to engage me.
Wait, no,
I'm getting, no. Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Jackson, I'm
This
talking to
is your
Santita.
reaction.
What I'm trying, no, what I am engaging with, and I'm about to engage you with some facts. What I'm saying is this.
No, go ahead.
I mean, what I'm saying is, one of the interesting things about President Trump to me is how he has pulled the covers back on everything. It was written several years ago that as...
And this is the person that's pulled the covers back on everything, there's up to 24,000 lies already. So what do we know what the covers are?
Mrs. Dowd, one moment, you need to put the mic back, you need to hold it so we can engage each other. Now, what I'm saying to you is, it was already stated, it was already written, that one of the challenges that Vice President Biden was going to have was that his son's involvement in voter fraud. That was a given.
Exactly.
So when I saw President Trump bring him in, I thought that was a very, very, very interesting and slick political move. I mean, slick as in, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's taking the long view. There have been many, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not making a judgment either way. I was just saying, game keeps game. You gotta go, now, that's game. Because this is a gambler. This is a casino owner. And he's a street fighter, and he's a street guy.
Yeah.
And that's how he plays.
Exactly.
He plays scorched earth. You know what? You might take me out, but guess what? I'm taking you with me, because this is how this game is played, and I want everybody to see how the game is played. The fact is, when people get into politics, people cut deals. But the only person who didn't walk out of the presidency cut the deal was Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter and his wife, they teach Sunday school and they build little houses. And the money they make, he said he writes books and he gives it to the Carter Center, and that's what he does. Everybody else comes out cutting deals. That's how they do it. You make friends, you cut deals. That's the way politics works. That is the way it works. And so the swamp is real. And everybody, save for a precious few, are in it. That does not make, that to me, that does not make you an awful person, but it is awful how this business works. Okay, here she is.
Okay. What is so thrilling about Donald Trump is this. They said, there's no quid pro quo. We do this all the time. I don't think we listen. There's no quid pro quo. This is the way things happen.
He's not the first.
In Washington. And I think we don't listen and hear the things that are being said to us. If you mess with me, you've selected the wrong person. Because I am going to reveal to you that the deck is already stacked. I mean, I listen to him, and I hear everything he says.
So what is he saying?
He's saying an awful lot, and the thing that is challenging is I don't know how to take all the things he's telling me at one time, because my beliefs are being challenged. I didn't know there's no quid pro quo, because this is the norm. So you keep talking about this swamp, and I become airhead. Yes, get rid of the swamp. And it's like, the swamp is the swamp, you know. So a lot is being said. I wish the American people would stay in touch and in tune, because we, you know, hindsight is 20/20 vision. The things that we don't get today, if we let it settle long enough, we'll get it tomorrow or the day after. And I think this is a very, very challenging period for us. It's challenging because we have to hear things that are appalling to us. We have to see a conduct.
Not things we have not heard before, but things we've heard in a public.
Why don't you
That
hear
we are
that
hearing now.
No, I want to hear I need to hear you all.
Senator Cruz said when he was running against Trump, he said this man is violent. This man has no justification. He's a liar. He has no right to be president. Donald Trump said to him, let me ask you a question. Where was your daddy the night of November 22nd, 1963? With a picture in his hand. The next day, Cruz said, Donald Trump may be the greatest slice of bread. They played hardball in his hand.
Which is real.
Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what they may have on Biden. And when if Biden wins,
Yes.
and the shoe drops, where that's going to take his campaign.
Yes.
We have to anticipate all
of
of that because this is a hardball game.
This is real.
And we are analyzing based on our emotions and based on presumption, not looking at all of the facts we do. The fact of the matter is, and so we have to try to identify what candidate may have the least vulnerability in that swamp. But the swamp itself is real, and they're willing to go there. They're perfectly willing to go there. So I think that in our analysis, we have to take some of the emotions out, and take some of the feelings out, and try to be consequential in our thinking, to understand how what we're looking at today may not be where this thing is going.
Yes.
This thing get very, very vicious. And I think that should play into the choices that we make.
And see, we don't know what was broken. And what we are looking at is a personal fight. It's some people in this fight. It's some people in this fight. I was talking with a young man, and he said he was Vietnamese. I said, oh, what are the resources we're getting out of Vietnam now so we can determine why we fought the war? I said, I certainly hope it wasn't for catfish and what are the little things we getting from Vietnam now? Are we fighting resource fights, wars? And have we been doing that all along?
It's all about resources.
So, as a religious person, as one who believes in Christ, and people kind of think you're ignorant when you have a belief, a lie cannot live forever. And I do believe that this is a reckoning period, and lies are being unraveled. One of the most marvelous things that I heard from Donald Trump was when he said,
Thrilling and marvelous.
and I say this about Trump, he said, I could stand in the middle of the street, no, Fifth Avenue, and I could shoot somebody and nothing will happen to me. Everything he has failed. So now he has my attention because I can hear him. And you know, they say, put the dots together. And I think he's saying a lot to us that has never been said before. And I promise you, I am listening.
Dwight, what do you, I mean, you're saying something.
No, I think she said it all. I think that when he said that, he was making a real point.
What do you mean?
Speculating. What is the Harvard professor who's his lawyer's name?
Alan Dershowitz.
Dershowitz. Dershowitz argued last week that Donald Trump was not above the law. He was the law. That's a whole other proposition. That he was the law. And it came from a man who was raised around Nuremberg. Raised around Nuremberg. Dershowitz is a Jewish lawyer from Harlem. And he came up at a time as a lawyer when the greatest influence on Jewish lawyers was Nuremberg. The Nuremberg trial, where they charged the Nazis with being complicit in war crimes because they were instructed by their bosses to commit them. That was their argument, is that our bosses were the law, and so we can't break the law because we did exactly what they told us to do. So you wonder how 40 years later, a Jewish lawyer can argue the same thing in behalf of a president who is professed to be influenced by that Aryan system and that racial superiority. There's something happening behind the veil we can't see. And Trump is telling us in his, in his own way that you all can't see this, but trust me, whatever.
Listen, just what he is saying. Listen. Take your emotions away. Remove them. You know, they say follow the dots. I hear so much from him that I've never heard before. And he says it in broad daylight. And it's like,
In the town square.
in the town square. And I keep saying, oh, and my friends who said, oh, listen, he's crazy and whatever. And I say, no, he's not crazy. And we can see it. And I have friends who've been waiting for Mueller, the trial, whatever. There's something going on. And as long as they can lure you, and those of us to the side, you won't hear what's really going on. But that's why I said a lie cannot live. And for those of us who are part of the Christian community, this is a wonderful opportunity for us. Information is just pouring down right before your eyes. Now, you cannot accept it because you have figured out this is the woman you love. And this is the one you want. And oftentimes, when the cloud, the veil is removed, you found that it's not the right one. But it's something that he is saying. It's been a terrible experience for me because as a part of the civil rights struggle, I never thought we'd come to this. Because I had my thoughts about what America was supposed to be, and now I'm seeing what it really and truly is. And I just, and always have been, and I wonder with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, the Panther Party, James Bevel, and all of my friends, you didn't see this. We're peeling an onion, and this is extremely painful. So we are the children of the new day. And I'm excited at my age to have been allowed to sit here to see this conversation. That's why I said I'm an advocate of an open, democratic convention. Let's go there, let's argue, let's come up with if we are real Democrats, we're not standing, wait, this isn't about winning this election. This is about Who are we?
You know,
Now, remember, you're the ones that thought slavery was okay. And it was the Republicans and Lincoln and the others who were trying to get us free. So now that flipped. And we became Democrats and whatever. Now it's time to stop, look, and listen. And that will bring us to a great point tomorrow.
let's say one thing I want you to respond to.
Louder.
Because what I've noticed is that the markets, in spite of everything that went on last year, high highs, low lows, the market ended up in 2019 ahead. They ended up ahead.
But that's not buybacks.
But this is all a game.
That's not
This
buybacks.
is not, look, we've never, see, now we're talking about our education. Something we had,
You take the mic, because we're going to begin to
something,
close this out.
okay, something we had prior to microphones and radios and
I
etc.
need you to hold the mic.
Okay, was the wind. One of the things that happened in North Carolina when I arrived in North Carolina in 1951, well, what was it, 1961, 1962. We had party lines. I left my house in Virginia, and we had a party line, no cell phones. Nobody knew about the sit-in movements. Nobody knew Diane Nash. Nobody knew. But a group of little guys at A&T said, we're going to go down here and sit on this bench, and we're gonna get some food.
At war.
I did something that was really interesting. I was very angry with my husband, very angry with Push, very angry as a black woman. I looked at an invitation that was on the desk at Push, and I said, I'm going to take this trip because I want to get out of here. And I asked Reverend B.W. Smith up in New York City to come with me, and I called some people. We went to Beirut, Lebanon. So my girlfriend called me, Irene Ware, and she said, when you come back from Beirut, Lebanon, I want an alligator pocketbook. Because you know you always buy something for your friends, get you a list of things that they want. When I got there in the place, they were shooting and bombing, and it was like, what the hell is this? And Reverend B.W. Smith said, I knew when I got that call, you all had tricked me. He said, Reverend called me and said, I want you to go with my wife in Beirut, Lebanon. That's when I met Yasser Arafat. To take a different look at Beirut, Lebanon. What we don't understand as a nation of people, we are here and we are chosen by God. Everything would be all right in the United States if it wasn't for black folks who are the conscience. We are the conscience. We are the do right. If you want to do right all day long, you gotta be the do right all night, man. We are the do right nation. And I'm excited about being here at this time. And I think this is the most exciting thing that has happened in a very long time. I'm anxious about it. I'm excited about it. I'm not low feeling like slain. I got the short end of the stick. I'm just as excited. I want to see this through. Aren't you excited? Yes.
I think it's well, you know what, I think it's very exciting, and you know what, everybody, I want you all to continue to like and share this conversation. We're going to close it out now, but we're also on Facebook, we're here on Facebook on the Santita Jackson and Friends page. Continue to like and share. And please go on over to YouTube to the Santita Jackson Show. We just started that, and you all have been joining at a pretty rapid clip every day over the past few weeks, and so thank you so much for that. Please continue to like and subscribe there. Tomorrow morning we will be on WCPT, on the Santita Jackson Show, WCPT 820, the nation's largest progressive talk radio station. I want to thank you for making the show number one. Thank you so much. And we're going to continue to go because we're going to go to some of these primaries. In fact, we will be in South Carolina at the end of the month. Broadcasting from there at the Black primary. I wish I could have gotten up to Iowa. I wasn't able to do that today. But we wanted to get to one of the big four. And so that's what we're going to do at the end of the month. And of course, Mrs. Jackson is on her way to Pembroke, and we will be there in the next few weeks.
If you want us in South Carolina, what's the price of the bus?
I don't, we know, we're going to have to walk.
And the hotel.
That's all right, because we're going to use an Airbnb. But you know, so we're going to look into that, because I think that going to South Carolina, Kevin Gray is going to be one of our hosts there.
But
Kevin
you
Gray.
need to organize this.
Mrs. Jackson, I will do that.
Tell her to get
we
on
will-
it.
We are going to do that.
Tell
You
Phyllis.
said you didn't want to do Phyllis and I going to work. So
Well,
Phyllis,
they can.
so Phyllis can say.
The
So,
package.
I mean, what do you want to go to South Carolina for? What is down here? What is here? What is here? I mean, why are we here? We love Phyllis. And you know what? I have to tell you, I love everybody here because everybody has got a very distinct point of view. And you know what? Just get involved, everybody. That's what you need to do. Get registered to vote, get involved. This is supposed to be the election of all elections. We have not seen percentage-wise many people participate, or this percentage of Americans participate in the election in more than 100.
And you had Donald Trump to thank for that,
And
right?
we do. No, but we do. According to the studies, they said he has stirred up this kind of
He has
emotion, which is
stirred up
good.
this kind of-
And he has intentionally stirred up a lot. And you know what? I'm glad about it.
Yeah.
But I think that we got to do, and that having been said, we need to take our emotion out of this, and we have to make a decision. We're at an inflection point in this decision. We have to decide, you know, in Black History Month, as we think the great Black bard of Harlem, where Dr. King referred to the Hughes, you know, America was never America to me. At some point, we have to, at some point, we have to make a decision about what America's supposed to be.
Yes.
And that's where we are right now.
And that's the work for our country. That's the work for our country.
And it's the work for right now. And so I'm praying for the people of Iowa as they make these decisions tonight. You have some broken hearts. You have some people who walk into the caucuses pulling for their candidate, and the candidate is not viable. That's heartbreaking. So I pray for them tonight. I hope that they will not give up on the dream of America. I hope they will stay involved in the process of America, and I hope that they will remember that America was not always what America is even today. Before we became, as we moved into becoming this republic, white men who did not have property could not vote. Only white men with property could vote. We have slowly, surely, and sometimes very quickly made some serious advances, and we have to continue to make those advances. And
Okay, I want to say what is wonderful about this idea. America is an experiment and an idea.
And an ideal.
And we are a part of that engagement. So if we remember that our purpose was not to just sit on a boat and come across the water, but we are working. God sent us here, and we took care of their children, their families, and were beaten in the process. And yet we have been lifted and made much better as a result of that process. And there's a guilt, and there's the strength of who we are. And we are are rising. We are ascending.
Amen.
And this is our moment.
Amen. This is our moment, everybody. I love you. We have had a great time tonight, and thank you so much.
Power to the people.
Amen, amen, amen. I'll see you in the morning as we review what happens with this Iowa